Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a good Sunday. See, today is my Easter, but to each their own. So, what I thought is to do some, give you some tips on how to make miniature tea sets, because not only it's cool for jewelry, a lot of people like various food items as earrings and all kinds of stuff. They are neat as a decoration, but also, and I'm gonna be very honest with you, we like clay and stuff, but there's a lot of people who have as a hobby doll houses. And what's inside the doll houses is very sought after. And I've known in my life quite a few people who were making good money on making dollhouse stuff. Of course, it takes a little bit to build a customer pool, but it's a working thing. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Janine. So, I didn't want to make you wait, so I already made a... we're going to do one of those cobalt chinas. I already made the Skinner blend with white and ultramarine blue. And what I'm going to do now... Hi, Silver. What I'm going to do now is simply plug it. So first I'm going to cut it again, because apparently I didn't cut it right. Pardon, I noticed only now that one of my nail polish chipped. But I think that this is why I love Color Club. I did my nails Wednesday afternoon, and I've been working in the garden since, so you can see how well it lasts. Good morning, Wendy. So I'm going to place these here and then go with it through the machine in length. And I'm going to do one of those a little bit unusual plugs. Let's go with it thinner. Okay, never mind. I guess it's time to clean my machine. I didn't realize it was so dirty. Oh crap. Yeah, it brought up everything. This is something. I'm sorry, are you in Alabama? Because I saw Alabama's having quite a bit of stormy stuff going on. Okay, I'm going to just put it like this, because at the tininess it's going to be, it won't matter much. Okay, so I'm going to start it from one end, normal round. And then I'm going to go kind of like 3/4 of the way, not all the way. So pretty much like this. And then on the very last one, I'm going to grab a little bit of ultramarine and wrap it. And so this has to go. But again, I'm going to wrap it only from here to here. Hi, Anna. Hi Elaine, glad you made it. Hi Robin. Yeah, you guys had some huge stuff going on in Fort Lauderdale, didn't you? Same in LA. I was looking at some videos from LAX. I mean, oh my god, the whole tarmac is flooded. I don't know, it seems to me honestly that in the last few years it pretty much seems like the tornado alley shifted a little bit east. I don't know if you noticed that. You're in the north, Wendy, huh? Okay, so now my next thing will be to, so I have here some white on the thicker setting, but what I'm going to do, I decided not to go with roses. I'm gonna make separately roses teapot tutorial, more Victorian style. So what I need to do is to get this, and I'm going to gently pinch it here. So as I was saying, I need to get this into a circle. So and grab the width of it. And I'm going to give it a diagonal cut, and I'm going to place it here and then bring it over and diagonal cut. See, like this. And then I'm going, or I already have a little diagonal cut, but it's not diagonal enough. So I'm gonna diagonal it more. Hi Francis. It's crazy weather. We had like almost 80 degrees not long ago. Okay, I'm gonna touch to mark my line so that I can diagonal cut. So I just undid it. So there we go again, right? So what I'm going to do now is, again, starting with a diagonal cut, but this time, thank you, this time I'm going to go to the next one. See, I'm not putting it at the same thing. I'm kind of continuing this round line here. So I'm going to go like this, but this time I don't have to go in a diagonal. I'm just going to go straight. So I need another diagonal, obviously, for the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing. So place the edge right where the edge of the other diagonal ends. So there we go. Actually, this one can be a little bit more. I didn't cut perfectly straight. Hi, Gayleen. So again, I'm going to measure the width. And you can keep this cane and use it for other stuff, obviously. I think I might not have gotten enough white. That's okay. Okay, so once again, diagonal, go to the next one, and here, see, there's a, we start forming the circle. So now I'm going to cut this way, and I already have a diagonal. I'm gonna place it here and cut this way. Didn't cut it that awesome, but it's okay. I mean, this whole thing is going to be so tiny that you won't have to worry about all of this stuff. So this time I got too big of a too sloped. So just gonna put a little thing with my fingernail. See, cut it like this, and I'm going to place it here, and I have a diagonal here, and we are pretty much good to go. Most of them, I mean, there's three ways I get ideas. One of them is I see something, what somebody else did, you know, and I might like a color combination, I might like a shape, I might like whatever, you name it. And as I look at it, I go, I wonder if I can do this or this or this or this. I mean, it is, I don't know how to tell you, it's not, I'm not copying that thing, but whatever I'm seeing brings me a new idea. Or, and it's, I'm not talking about just polymer clay. Like, remember that I did at one point, I did a jewelry set inspired by the Konstantinos jewelry. The Konstantinos jewelry, it's, I'm not sure if it's very well known here in the US, but it's quite known in Europe. And the Konstantinos jewelry has as a specific the combination of, hi Sharon, the combination of gold and silver, or yellow gold and white gold, or platinum and yellow gold. And hold on, let me see, let me give you an example. It's quite intricate. It's got a little bit of Baroque, sometimes Victorian. Okay, hold on. There we go. This is Konstantinos jewelry. It's a quite heavy jewelry and more like medieval inspired, if you want. But see, there's always this combination of silver and gold, or white gold and yellow gold. Sometimes it can be platinum and gold, and they are not cheap. One thing I can tell you, they are not cheap. So this one is Neiman Marcus. I wonder if it's still there. Let's see. Okay, so just a simple gold box chain, 6,500. So we were looking at this, so it's 1570. So it's not a very cheap jewelry, and depending on the pieces, some of the pieces can cost tens of thousands. Or I would see a flower or a pattern. Yeah, exactly, Wendy. Exactly that. Or I would see a pattern in a fabric, and that fabric can be like, I would be in a fabric store Okay, hold on, I did the wrong one. I could be in a fabric store, or I could be out on the street in a jewelry, in a grocery store, or at a party, or get a visit, or see somebody on the street, and I see that fabric pattern, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can do this in polymer clay. You know, especially when it's one of those repeated patterns. I still have something that is on my wish list. I have a blouse that I've been trying to repeat that the pattern it's got, and I didn't get around to do it. Or I may even see a painting, you know, or a piece of a painting, or something. It's always bits and pieces that give me all these ideas. Okay, so I'm going to measure this. Okay, so yeah, I did it good. So I'm going to cut it in 6. What are you doing? I hear some suspicious noises from my bedroom. Finnegan's been horrible this morning, all morning. He was bored. So he's been hollering all over the house that he was bored. He tried to. Usually he doesn't steal stuff from the table and stuff, but I guess I forgot to leave on the ground something that, thank you, something that he could chew on. So in the end, he went ahead and got from, I have a little, like a secretary thing, and he went ahead and pulled an old envelope down and started chewing on it. Okay, now for my 7th one, I'm going to just grab all of these and just string them out. It's okay if it breaks. I just need them to be quite thin. And yeah, and he also has the habit, I have to be very careful because it's both him and Connor. When I start sorting stuff and put it into boxes, you know, to separate, this is going to go for sanding, this is going to go for this stash, I need to be very careful and first of all watch over them, and if I leave the room, make sure that I close those boxes, because otherwise they steal stuff to play with it, including, you know, beads and stuff like that. So that's the only stuff that they steal. Now let me get this through the machine. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these pretty much in, and you can just eyeball because it's not a big deal if you don't cut perfectly perfect. I might even have too many, but that's gonna be fine. And I'm going to just put them together because all I need is to get the same thickness as the other ones. This one I got it too long. And I think I'm good. So let me round it up. And then I'm going to wrap it in ultramarine. Gently consolidate it a little bit. All right, so now I can start placing these little things here. And always check in the back. So this one is a little messed up, but that's fine. All right, and now I can start making some strings. Yeah, I actually have I taped Finnegan. One time he stole, there's these thank you, there's these little, they're almost like strings, but they are made out of plastic that can be used for necklaces. And Trish had sent me some to see if I can use them in anything. Anyway, so Finnegan stole one and he had a blast with it. He was so happy. He played like crazy. Give me just a second while I'm doing this. This is him with that thing he stole. He was just having a ball. He looks very satisfied of himself, doesn't he? Okay. Yeah, I'm glad that he doesn't really eat anything. He only chews. So there's no danger of him getting stopped. Okay, in the meantime, while I showed you Finnegan, I've been working on this. So I'm going to just place some string in between the petals. But yeah, and sometimes when I'm cleaning the house, I discover their stashes. There's a specific, I found at Aldi's at one point, I found a, so I'm going to put some more strings but thinner. I found a little cat crib, if you want. That's like a regular bed, you know, bowl-like, and then it has like half of a bed like this, and it's like a crib. So I got that originally for Finnegan, but Connor declared that it looks cool and he wants to sleep in it, so it's become Connor's crib. And usually that's where he stores his stuff. Finnegan is more sneaky. He has one of his blankets on the lap seat where he likes to sit, and he goes and digs it in. So every time I go there and I get the blanket to, you know, shake it a little bit, you can be sure a lot of stuff is going to fall from there. So now I'm going to put smaller strings on both sides, thinner strings on both sides of the previous strings I put there. So the closer to round you can make this, the less chance that those petals inside are going to get distorted. Yeah, it's so much nicer to watch YouTube on the TV, isn't it? I noticed that myself. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't notice even on my big monitor, but I did notice on the TV. Okay, so at this point I don't even need to wrap it. I can just go ahead and reduce it. So as always, start in the middle so that you can be sure that you push the very middle of it outside. Otherwise, and especially when the cane has rested for a while, the middle would be the coldest. Oh no, it does not. You know what works? You can, you know those dandelion scoops? Because with dandelions is also hard to remove. I usually remove the crabgrass whenever after a rain, you know, I let the soil dry up a little, and when it's like that, I'm sorry, Darla, when it's like that, you can just, you know, pull it out of the ground. But if you weren't aware, give me a second. Hey. Okay. They look like this, essentially. And they do make some that are long handled, but essentially they are like a very thin scooping thing that's got a 2x fork at the end. And this works also on crabgrass. This is way too expensive. You can get them if you go to your local improvement store. You can get, I would avoid getting, you see, there are some that are like 11 for 2 or $7 for 1. I generally avoid these because, yeah, they are cheap, but 9 times out of 10 they don't last long. But go for something that's around like $14, $15. Everything that's more than that is too expensive. These work the best. The type of tools, in my gardening experience, this type of tools with this wood handle, they last the most. And it's just simple. It's This is what you use for dandelions, and it works great on crabgrass too. Another thing that it works good is, I forgot how that is called. There's a weed that grows tall and has like one of those tap roots. Anything that has tap roots, that kind of stuff takes care of it. But one thing that I learned when it comes to those taprooty weeds, they grow, they're kind of thistle, I think. They can grow up to 4, 5 foot tall, and they have kind of meaty leaves with little thorns on the edges. So I think it's a type of thistle. It's not a thistle, it's like a thistle. And one thing that I do when I cannot dig them out, I just cut that taproot as close as I can to the surface, and I put some rock salt on it, and then I put the salt back on top. But what I had issues with this year in my garden, it's what's called sticky willy. I don't know how it's called where you are. It's the sticky weed. Oh my God. I made out of the front yard, because somehow it doesn't like grass. It went only where there wasn't any grass, so that meant my flower beds and vegetable beds. And also in the backyard, because I'm trying to fight the Bermuda grass in the backyard. And what I did last year, I kept all my boxes from Amazon delivery, and I covered everything. And yeah, the Bermuda grass died, but of course the leaves. Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I got again the wrong. Thank you. But then I've just been reducing the flower thing. The leaves fell, and obviously they kind of macerated during winter. So there was a lot of substrata for weed development. So it was no pigweed. Pigweed is chickweed, isn't it? And I know, I mean, both chickweed and sticky willy are considered to be very healthy and help with urinary tract infections and all kinds of stuff. But God damn it, they are irritating, and I am allergic to them. I mean, I get all kinds of little bumps on I use gloves, gardening gloves, when I'm working with them. But I'm also allergic to the whole stuff being in the air, so I cannot use the weed eater, even with a mask on, still, because my eyes start watering, and I don't have that kind of goggles that go. I do have, but I don't know where they are. That completely cover your eyes. So anyway, I got, imagine a pile, so from both the front and the backyard, imagine a pile about 5 feet in diameter and about 4 feet tall. So wrong thickness. Now, what you can do, it's got a little contaminated, but for the purposes of the tutorial, it's gonna be just fine. Now, what you can do to bake your cups. There are several things that you can use. There are these things that you can find at craft stores mostly, and at Walmart too, that you know, the stuff that you put in flower vases. If you want to do a little bit wider cups, these, the bigger ones, you can use for cups if you want very wide cups, or for bowls, or for the plates themselves. But for more regular stuff, you can use marbles or whatever glass beads you have. That would work too. So let's first make a cup, and I'm going to get some stuff to bake. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to be up on the chair till the end, but we're gonna extend this into next week, when I hope to already have some stuff already done. And I need my cutters. Not burdocks. Burdocks are meatier and with the thorns higher. Okay, so I'm going to be using a marble, and we can see, so the size of it, to get to the size of it, obviously it will have to be a little bit wider, but this should work just fine. Actually, I'm gonna get the one that's a little bit wider, and it also depends on what size you want. You can find bigger marbles. Don't think I have any here. They're in the, but you can always cut. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to cut 2 slices. Yeah, I have remember I have a tutorial showing how to use those for dragon's eyes. It's among my very first tutorials. Okay, I need my eyeglasses. It's hold on. Give me just a second, because if you go on my channel and you go to videos, oh, they removed from they removed the search, the listing. Anyway, let's go. Oh, not drag on. Goodness. Okay, yes, here. See how to make dragon eyes. Using that kind of stuff. Let me turn this off. Dragon eye cane. So no, it's not in this one. It is in this one. I showed how to do, and I showed how to use all these. And some of them you don't even have to. And then I showed how to make them in 3 different ways. To make a cane, or to simply paint it. and how to make with this and how to make with Fimo gel. Let me see. And at the end it's how to get all of them. But yeah, this is pretty much it. And make sure that I don't turn off the wrong screen again. Anyway, so getting back to this. I'm not sure if I did one of those or not. Probably not yet. I was planning to. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 thin slices. And it all depends how decorated you want your. And I'm sorry, but I have one of those. My white is the sticky kind, so it's a pain. I should keep this in the fridge before attempting to cut, but there's no time. Okay, so considering how wide this is, I want to place them like one here and one here. Of course, you can make a cane to directly start with, you know, but I'm going to go, to make just a cane the exact size you need your cup to be. I've been very tired in the afternoon because I've been working on the garden. I've been working on clay. I've been working on a tutorial and 2 tutorials and a short. And I've been also preparing stuff for these stashes, you know. So now remember, this cut is just a guidance, okay? You don't really mind how that cut is, how big that thing is. See what I was telling you about the white clay being a pain in the behind? Okay, so then I'm going to place it nice and gently on here and coax the clay. And you can see now that it's a little bit past the middle, so you don't want it to be past the middle. So we are going to cut it. I'm going to get me a distance from the flower. And after they are baked, you can sand the very end. Now, if you want to beautify it even more, to make it look even stupid white clay, sticky. Look at this, it doesn't want to come off the blade. Now remember, generally miniatures are a lot of work. I have LED lights and they are like 3 feet away from the table, so there's no heat from the light. There's a reason why I got the LED lights. So I'm going to gently go with my fingers and kinda round up this very edge. And yes, it's going to get again messed up at the edge. Is not going to be very even, but you do this because you want your little cup, not to look too blatantly. This was on the 4th thickness on a makings kind of edge, if you know what I mean. And remember, you can give it a very, very gentle sanding at the very end after it's baked. Almost dropped it. Okay, I need some. Alcohol. Alrighty. And there we go. So I'm not going to be too preoccupied with this because, as I said, I'm going to sand it. But one thing that needs to be done will be to put a bottom of it. And I'm not going to cut or do anything. It's going to be done after it's baked because that's when it's going to be easy to position it. Okay, now how am I going to bake it? Because if it falls on one side, it's going to get distorted, right? Okay, it doesn't fit here. I need to put it somewhere. Where can I put it? Or I can just try and grab this with one hand. So you need to make it a cradle. Just get some aluminum foil like this. Give it rounds. And kind of do this so that it would be kind of evenly sitting, kind of like this, right? And then grab whatever you want, the end of a paintbrush, a big ball stylus. As you saw, I've used the end of my roller, and then you just place it here. And you're going to be able to bake it. So it sits pretty much like this, so no danger of it falling. Okay, now how do we do the plate? I need to grab what do you want? Give me just a second, please. Some reason I got an ad blocker from Microsoft and I cannot close it. If you want to block more ads, and it doesn't close. Oh, this is horrible. Give me just a second. Oops, sorry. This is horrible. and it doesn't go away. This must be from YouTube or Windows. Yeah, let me show you. This is what I'm talking about. See this? I cannot. Close it. So it's either YouTube. Well, I think it's YouTube because it doesn't show on the other stuff, only on the live streaming. So it must be a company that makes ad blockers who paid good money to YouTube to show in the creators thing. Ugh, horrible. Okay, now to make the, give me a second. You can use one of those mats that are used for flour, for sugar craft. And let me grab another round of. I'm going to go with the smallest because the smallest looks perfect for a saucer. And this is one of those working mats, again, for sugar craft. And they are fairly cheap. So what I want to do is grab a ball stylus. Actually, no, first I have to put some flowers on it. Never mind. Excuse me. Never mind. This ad blocker thing, I'm going to look for it in the add-ons of Firefox and give it very negative reviews. And again, you can make a full cane with a lot of things around us. I'll show you. When I'm done with this, I'll show you. For next Sunday, I will show you how to make the teapot, the creamer, because we wasted some time with making the cane. That's why I only can show you the teacup and the saucer. Actually, we can make also the handle of the teacup. So I am nicely burnishing them. And then of course I'm going to have to use this once again. Why don't you first put these and then cut for the first time? Because you kind of need to have the feeling of how big this thing is going to be. And once again, make sure your clay is cold when doing this, because see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to first gently thin out the, and remember, all the finishing touches can be done after it is baked. You can use the sandpaper to get better edges and perfect rounds. but you want the edges to not be as thick as the polymer clay is when you cut it. And you cannot make it thinner because it would be fairly breakable, right? Okay, then I'm going to make me a little, is this good enough? This is too big. This should be good. This will be where the teacup is going to sit. So I'm not cutting completely through. I think I need to zoom, don't you think? And maybe a touch darker. I've been trying to focus the camera for ages, and I don't know what's going on. I might need an update or something. Or get to another USB thing. So I did use that cutter very gently in the very middle, and then I'm going to come and pull it in, push it in a little. And then the next thing you need to do is grab the cutter actually I need something even smaller, and that's fine. You can directly place it on this because it's going to, these were good. And if you have one of those onion smell removing, you know, those little metal soaps that can be used so nicely for baking polymer clay on. My needle. And again, you can do the whole finesse after it's baked. But this will be a little saucer, and let me make a little handle on the teacup. Steel soap. Okay, there you go. Okay. So I need a very thin string. I have no idea where my X-Acto knife went. And I need 2 cuts in a diagonal, here and here. And place it in between the 2 flowers. It's not very well focused. I told you I have no idea what's going on. And then bring it down. we go. We have the little cup. What's going to be will be for the base. You can either use a small thin a circle cut to put it on the very bottom, but as I said, after it's baked, or you can do a very, 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 very thin string. And place it in a circle. It's been cold here. We had like 80 degrees a few days ago, and then we got a cold front passing through. And today's high will be 68, but last night it went down to 39. So all you have to do is to place this little ring at the base of the cup. But again, I do not, I advise you to not place the base of the cup yet until the whole thing is baked, because it's much harder to estimate where the perfect spot is than when it is already baked, and you can turn it around and you can put your stuff down and then just turn the little cup until it fits perfectly and it's perfectly flat. So this would be it. And if you want to add an extra oomph to it, and we're gonna do next time, I'm not going to make it ahead of time, I'm gonna just do it with you here. You can, after you finesse the edges, obviously, after you finesse the edges, you can, if you have any of the golden waxes, if not, you can just use a little bit of golden acrylic or Inca gold or something. I would suggest that you use a golden wax because it's much better and it looks more metallic. But if you don't, you can use the acrylic or Inca gold or something. So this would be the beginning of it. And next time, I'm going to show you how to do the teapot and the creamer and the sugar bowl. But there's two things that you need to keep in mind. Depends if you want to make these functional or non-functional. You can definitely make the cup with already tea in it, and it's much easier to make that because all you have to do is to make first a half a sphere of tea colored clay, and then just build a cup around it. It's much easier. But if you want to make it functional, you make it like this. And to make the functional teacup, I'm going to show you how to make the functional teacup, and also give you the hints on how to make it if you just want it decorative. But what you will need toilet paper, and I repeat, only toilet paper, okay? Toilet paper that you need to wet, and then you need to squeeze really good, because you will use that like a papier mâché. Sienna, sure, I'll tell you in a second. If you want papier like a papier mâché to build the teapot and the bowl, sugar bowl, and the creamer, and then once they are baked, you put them in water and the toilet paper will start, getting dissolved, and you can easily remove it. So you will be able to actually put tea in the little teacups and in the pot and everything. Now, if you want to do mushrooms, your best bet is to make some mud clay. Okay, and depending on your mud clay, For example, I have some mud clay here that's almost sienna. It's not as, in real life, it's not as red as the camera shows it. But make some mud clay and then look at it. And why did I put this white here? I have no idea. And look at it and start playing with a little bit of red and a pinch of black. And that's going to make it more sienna-ish, or not. If you have, you know, just the regular primary cadmium red. And careful with the black, add just a little bit at a time. And if it's not beigeish enough for you, add some yellow. Again, cadmium yellow. So that should be just fine. Okay. So I will see you all next Sunday. I'll have all these baked and ready, and I'm going to make an extra little cup to show you how to place the bottom of it, and then we're gonna finish these ones with the whole golden thing, and we're gonna make the teacup and the creamer and the bowl, sugar bowl. Okay, I'm going to go rest for a little bit. I woke up at 4 o'clock. Why? Then I'll probably, because it's not as windy today. Yesterday it was horrible. It was so windy, but I had to finish that fence, and it's finally there, so I don't have to worry anymore about stray dogs and obnoxious children losing their balls in my yard. Anyway, so I will see you all next Sunday, and good luck with all your gardening, and please stay safe from the weather. And don't forget to give me thumbs up and to use my affiliate links both on Amazon and PolyClay Play. See you all next Sunday. Bye.